Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us for another live. I am doing this one by myself today, but I brought in a friend. So this
I'm the friend.
a new face. Yes. Hi, friend.
Hi.
So I'll let you introduce yourself, tell our audience who you are, what your business is. He is our expert for today. And I'm very excited to discuss today's topic. So tell our audience a little bit about yourself and your business.
So I am Christopher Batts. Most know me for the guy with the eyebrows.
That is very true.
And I co-own Thymeless Blooms of North Carolina. And so we are an event and like special events wedding florist. And we're also certified wedding planners as well. And we're here to make your day timeless. Ting.
Love it.
And today we're going to talk about like all the trends for 2020, what to look for if you're newly engaged, how are you going to create your day, and if you're a current wedding vendor, how can you help make your experience for your bride like more important to her, more sanctioned for exactly what her vision is for her day.
Yes, so the trends change every year,
Yes.
And a lot of this is influenced by the Pantone color of the year. We just put a blog out about that.
Perfect.
And I know when I was planning my wedding, that did inspire me. I got engaged in 2015, and the 2016 color of the year was, or 2015 was Marsala. So that was
I remember that.
Beautiful, and then it was
very deep and romantic.
Yeah, the next year was when they had the two colors. It was the pink and the blue, which really did inspire me for my wedding planning.
For sure.
But when you have a long engagement, that's when it gets difficult.
You have to keep up with those trends. You really do.
Yes, it changes so much from year to year. So you've broken it out into trends for different wedding categories. So
4 trends is what I broke it down to. So we're going to start with budget trends because I know that we have our budget brides out there, and we know that we have the brides that even though you don't have a budget in mind yet, if you just got engaged or if you're working through the budget process, you want to stick to the scope of your plan. We have
it's very easy to go off budget. I know from experience.
From the beginning, it's like, all right, what do we have to work with? Well, 10 to 20% higher than that. Let's go with that threshold.
Yes.
So, and then we have ceremony trends.
Okay.
Cocktail hour trends, which is something that I'm really excited to talk about.
Oh, exciting.
And then finally, reception trends, ending the night of your very expensive day. And then making sure that we stick to kind of pulling in what your vision was in the beginning and then taking it to the fruition of the end of the day.
Love it. So let's get started with budget trends. It's very important, and that is the first thing that you're going to discuss when you get engaged.
Yeah, when you get that ring, it's like, all right, let's write it down. So one thing that we tell our brides the minute that we meet them, especially going into the beginning of the year, you know, everyone's getting engaged, they have stars in their eyes, they have all these visions of grandeur. So what we tell them is breathe. Just breathe. Exactly. Because one thing that we find an issue with a lot of the brides is like, you know, brides or grooms is that you're not engaged while you're being engaged.
Right.
Engage with your partner, engage with your fiance. You know, you're only going to be engaged once during this entire process of getting married. Enjoy that time.
Yes.
Because we have so many things that can go awry during this process. You need to be able to breathe and take it in. I know that Amy, who is my business partner, my other half in this, that's how we were brought together. We found each other through weddings and our love of the industry. She built her house and planned her entire wedding in an entire year, in the same year. So after she got married and after she moved into her house, it was like, well, what now? You spend all of this time.
I had that feeling
exactly.
too.
You spend all of this time being engaged through everything that you're not enjoying being engaged for real. So we tell our brides to breathe, and that's very important.
I will say, when I first got engaged too, I made the decision with my fiance at the time that we were going to not do any wedding planning. We got engaged in the beginning of October.
Yeah.
Didn't exactly stick to this plan, but we wanted to wait at least 2 weeks and, you know, wait till the end of October, beginning of November before we really dove into wedding planning, because we wanted to take some time just to enjoy that short honeymoon.
We just got engaged.
Phase. Yes, because the wedding planning is exciting when you get started, but then you get right
busy.
into it.
Getting married
Yes.
is a full-time job. That's why you have planners.
It is very much so.
Yeah. So a trend for budgeting for your wedding for this year is when you get engaged, before you pull the trigger on any big ticket items like a venue or booking a planner or a florist or anything like that, is figure out who's going to come to this. Because when you start, you know that if you're sending 250 invites, you know traditionally you're going to have about 10 to 15% of them unfortunately not be able to make it for whatever reason. Make your realistic guest list. And then the trend for this year is brides are sending their invites early on.
Yes.
Very, very early. So what happens is they're going to book their day with their venue, and then the trend is that they're going to immediately send their invites, because that will provide them a better scope for their budget. If you know for certainty that 150 people have already RSVP'd to your wedding, you can give that number to your caterer. You can give that number to your florist, because that will give you an idea for how many tables and how many centerpieces you're going to have. It will give you a really good honed-in spectrum of what you're working with, because the minute that you know for sure with absolute certainty how many people are coming to your wedding, you then know your budget, and you get to work backwards. And that's what I've written down is work backwards, because we have a lot of newly engaged couples, excited brides who just come in and they're just like, I want to get this done all together in the very beginning. And that's a good mindset, because getting married is a full-time job. You want to enjoy being engaged while you're engaged.
Yes, that's a good point. Everything you do in wedding planning revolves on that final number, especially catering, which is going to be another big chunk of your budget. And that will let you know how much money you have to work in the other areas of your booking.
Like cakes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It gives you a good idea for what you're working with. So working backwards is the trend for 2020 for budgeting for your wedding itself.
Awesome. And since we're talking about trends, and we have Caitlin Johnson with Capital Cakes is watching us, so thank you for watching.
Hi.
But she just commented with a trend, and I have heard of this before from one other person at our wedding show. She is one of our current exhibitors. She had a bride ask her if she would do LGBT weddings. The bride was not gay herself. She was there with her male fiance, but wanted to know that her vendors supported that community.
It's very important.
Which I'm hearing a lot more straight couples are asking this question, because it's something that they believe in, and they want to work with people who have the same beliefs, just as you want to work with people who have the same personality as you. I have a friend who got married recently, and she hired all this probably is not going to be the correct PC term, but she hired all Black owned businesses for her wedding, because she wanted to support that community. So whether that is your orientation or your race, we are seeing a trend that you want to have weddings.
You want to feel
companies that
inclusion
support your beliefs.
Exactly, and that's what we're seeing a lot. And we have a lot of our brides, gay and straight, that they know that that's a proponent of our business. And my business partner Amy, she is a straight white female, and I am obviously everything that you see here.
Wonderful.
It's a dynamic to work with your bride, because you get kind of that best of like, yes, we cater to everybody and all. We don't exclude. The bottom line is the wedding industry, whether you're on the side getting married or you're on the side putting on the wedding, you don't want to give that exclusionary feel. You want to make everybody feel included. We're here for you and your big day, and that's the only opinion that you should really have. It's your wedding, so work with the people that you want to work with, and if you ask these questions, ask those questions. That's great. If that's what you believe in and that's what you want your wedding to be and support, that's awesome. So that is a trend that we are seeing, is people are trying to support. I mean, when you book a wedding, you're shopping small, you're buying local. So just as you want to know where your food comes from, your skincare comes from, what those company beliefs are. A lot of people want to do the same with their weddings and who they're booking for their weddings. So that's a great trend. I really do like
Know who you're buying from.
Yeah, and it's so easy to let that outside noise in when you're planning your wedding. That stop getting. I mean, I love Pinterest. As a florist, I love Pinterest.
You live on Pinterest.
You do, and your brides start to share their boards with you, and you start to really see what their vision is. But stop comparing your wedding to your maid of honor. Stop comparing your wedding to your favorite Instagram influencer. Your wedding needs to be uniquely yours, and you have to honor what you have with your fiance, because that needs to be a direct representation of your relationship and your nuptials. And you want your guests to come in and you want them to feel like
they feel
this is their wedding. Like
right.
it was your wedding, and
right.
it felt like you.
I think it definitely did. I did not leave the dance
right.
floor
No.
all night, and for me, it was all about my dress. And your
Exactly.
guests are there to celebrate you and your love.
You have your important things.
So make sure that comes through in your wedding style.
Exactly. But I mean, that's really just like the trend for budgeting for your wedding is be you, uniquely you and your fiance, because you need to come into this having a vision. And then the best thing about being a planner and being on this side of the wedding industry is to see you came into this with a vision and you saw that vision out. And that makes us on the planning side feel successful, because we've brought it to life. We've brought it to fruition. We brought it from Pinterest to reality. And I think that's super important.
I love that. So those are our budget trends. Next, we're talking about ceremony trends.
Yeah, so like ceremony and cocktail hour trends are gonna like kind of combine as far as like the ceremonies are getting more non-traditional. We're seeing non-traditional dresses. We're seeing non-traditional bridesmaid dresses, the pantsuit dresses. It's amazing. So like the transition from ceremony to cocktail hour, normally the bridal party is going to go and take pictures, that kind of deal. Cocktail hour, we're going to see catering. We're going to see more interactive action stations for food. Grazing tables are really in and large for 2020. And if you don't know what grazing tables are, look them up on Pinterest.
I had to ask, so.
It's basically just a trough of just delicious charcuterie and cheeses and grapes and jams. So we're seeing cocktail hour wanting to be more interactive with the guests. So like,
which I do have to say I like, because as much as I love the traditional cocktail hour, I feel like I'm always trying to chase down the waiter.
Right.
When people are like, oh, have you tried this?
Wait.
No, where are you? Oh, have you tried this? No. Oh, I have my phone, my purse, my drink. How do I grab this and eat that? And it's, I mean, I guess you can consider that part of the fun of cocktail hour, but this will take that,
it kind of takes it away.
So you can just
It's
enjoy.
a lot more casual feel, but it still feels a little bit more upscale, because the guests are allowed to kind of pick out what they want. And as far as action stations go, they can tell them exactly what they want, and it makes it feel more inclusive. And that's, again, bringing it back to the budget trends as well. And so as far as reception trends go, they just told the Pantone color.
Love it!
We're very excited for those.
We have some guests that are joining us, so thank you everyone for joining us. And if you have any comments, please let us know. Caitlin added another one about cakes, so since we were talking about receptions, we're going to add that in. If you guys have any other 2020 trends, or you want to tell us what you're most excited about, comment and let us know. So we talked about budget, ceremony, cocktail hour. Now we're going into reception.
Which is very big for us in our industry, because that's kind of like the precipice of the night. We're here for the reception. We're here for the party. We're here for the drinks. We're here for the flowers. We're here
I came for the party with the wedding.
Exactly,
Just like did you know Beyonce's performing during the football game? Kind of the same thing, right? I'm here for the party.
Exactly.
You got married, that's great. No.
So bringing in like the trend from the ceremony and the cocktail hour, you're going to get a lot of different textures. So like, whereas whites and greens have been in for a really long time for flowers, we're seeing the trend as we want color and vibrancy. We want like the sorbets and the sunsets, and like, even if that doesn't really like give that cohesive vibe for what you're wanting, you want to come in and like, brides are wanting to feel like this vibrant event, this vibrance and fun of the actual event itself of getting married. You're getting married. It's exciting.
I love looking at the colorful weddings. I wish I would have thought of that for mine, because it is just so fun. You're here to celebrate love and happiness, and It really
enjoy
brings
it.
the fun atmosphere to
Right.
the wedding.
It
Again,
does.
not talking about the stuffiness and,
Yeah.
you know, having there's
plated
nothing wrong
dinners
with traditional weddings.
No,
I
no.
don't want to put that out there. But I do enjoy something that is fun, that's different, that's
Yeah.
unique. So this is awesome. I love the color trends. And Caitlin was talking about cakes. So she said, as far as cakes go, she's still seeing a lot of florals.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course, the classic just white cakes are always going to be in again.
Oh, because you can just really load those up with the colorful, vibrant flowers, and
Yes.
it provides a really good picture moment. And we know that pictures are forever for your wedding. That should be a really good investment tool for the brides themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Find your favorite photographer. You know, vet them yourself. But like, the photography and like videography, in my opinion, is something that we tell our brides, invest the money.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you can do kind of a mix and match of both, you know, with your traditional wedding ceremony and these new fun color trends.
Right.
So maybe your florals are bright and colorful, but you have a traditional just white kind of chic dress, and that's where you're mixing, you know, modern and traditional, or maybe you have the simple cake that everyone,
Right.
you know, can
Right.
appreciate, but you have it on a table with a really fun patterned linen, you know,
Right, and that's-
marrying the two
Uh-huh.
is great, and you can bring some of those 2020
Right.
trends in with your classic and traditional,
Yeah, because
you know, wedding aspects.
we're seeing a lot more creative fabrics for linens. We're seeing a lot more embroidery and plates and glassware, and chargers are coming back, and people are getting really into the different textures on the table with the glassware that doesn't match, and then you know, the chargers that are just slightly different, off-tone colors from everything else in the room. And we're seeing color, and we're seeing color in the receptions, we're seeing color in the ceremonies, we're seeing color in the weddings in general, and I'm very excited for that as a florist. And we traditionally use only North Carolina farmed flowers here. That's local.
I love that.
And so we're working with that vibrancy. And so the greens and the whites, they're still having their moment, but you know, we're having the sorbets and we're having the pinks and the fuchsias really come together to create a really beautiful look, and we're excited.
Now, are you finding, and I don't know for sure, but I feel like there is a trend where people are going more towards smaller, intimate weddings?
That was my next and last point.
I am ahead of the game. Now, do you feel like because people are going with these smaller guest counts, they're spending less money on catering, so they have more money to allocate towards these fun, extra items?
DJs, and you have brides like you who were there for the party. Oops, there was a wedding. But there was a party, so we're having a lot more intimate ceremonies and intimate weddings and smaller reception counts. And that's perfect. That's perfect if that's your vision, go with it, run with it, because you're going to have that option to allocate more money to the things that are important to you. You know, you can have a greenery chandelier, and you can have, that's my dream.
Love those.
Right. But you can invest more money for your photographer to have a second and a third, so that they can get those dark action shots of you on the dance floor enjoying your time with your girls and your best friends.
Those candid shots on the
They're the
dance
best.
floor.
They can get you in trouble for blackmail, but
but so much fun,
Right.
because those are the things, you know, as a bride that you don't capture the day of your wedding.
No.
So it is great to look back
You
on
wanna
those
relive that.
memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see that. So having more photos is
Right.
fantastic. Not necessarily the candid ones. I mean, yes, you have to take those traditional ones with your family and you want those.
Right. Your first looks, or that kind of deal.
But for me, I loved the
The candid
candid
moments.
ones,
Yeah.
where you just kind of catch people at the right time,
Or
and
the
you
wrong
see
time.
them right, but you see them enjoying your party,
Right.
your
'Cause
event.
Because it's there, and you want to relive that, and you want them to be able to relive that too. Nothing's better than a throwback Thursday of your wedding.
Love it.
Right.
I might have to do that this week, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right. But yeah, that was you wrapped up my last and final point for receptions.
Love it. So thank you guys for watching. I
thank
hope
you.
you enjoyed this video. Again, this is Chris with Thymeless Blooms.
Yeah, Thymeless Blooms NC.
We're chatting about the 2020 trends. So yeah, shout out all your social, your
You can find us on
website and
Facebook,
everything.
Instagram, our website. It's at Thymeless Blooms NC. And we're there on Facebook, Instagram. We have a website, and we're booking consultations. We're busy every night.
And you can also find them at the Spring and Summer Wedding Shows.
Oh, yes.
They will be there. You definitely will not miss their booth. You will know which one.
You'll know us.
It is theirs for sure.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you for taking
thank
the
you for having
time
me.
to chat with us today. Please leave us a comment. Let us know which 2020 trend you are most excited about seeing this year. And join us next week for another live. See y'all then.
Bye.
Bye.